let's get through a few comments, just a few real quick to close our show out this week. Kabuki Kid is a fan of the Onirim digital app that we reviewed recently. He says he's already played over 50 games on the app. Not having to constantly physically shuffle makes the game zip by. As you guys said, it is a rare case where the digital version is probably superior to the physical version, expansions aside. Yeah, I can't think of any other time I would say that.
Well, I mean, honestly, after filming that, we went to the Texas PhD trip and stuff, and I played it a bit more, and it definitely even grew on me during that time.
Yeah, no, it's a great little time killer. Really, really fun. Check out our review of that if you haven't seen that. I think it's may still be 99 cents on the App Store or wherever you find it.
Going fast, check it out now.
You brought up Duel Masters last week.
Right, because I said the card game was based, remind me of Duel Masters. I think it was Duel Masters. Let's see how I'm wrong.
Well, I know Falcon Ash K was also familiar with it. It's now known as Kaijudo. I think we've talked about this in the show.
Yes, they changed it, and that really bothered me.
He says he has a good amount of Kaijudo cards. He bought a starter of Duel Masters to compare the two. The artwork and cards were close to the same. He likes the style and layout in Kaijudo better, and is glad Wizards of the Coast bought them out. But he said the game didn't last as much as Magic. There was organized play with Kaijudo. I don't know if we were talking about that. So I don't know. Interesting.
Well, I remember because I did actually get Duel Masters and stuff because it really did feel like Magic the Gathering. This is the first time, 5 colors and stuff. And I made a deck and I really liked it. But the reason Kaijudo, I remember they bring it back, is first of all, I remember some of the cards, same name and stuff, but they were different, which disappointed me. And the other thing was that reason that I saw from Kaijudo that disappointed me from, maybe this is just from the surface. And we were in the board game, so I'm already starting to leave the CCG area. But it felt like Kaijudo sort of had it. I mean, all these card games that have a TV show sort of have this thing. But Kaijudo seemed to be really focused because the main character used this creature. That creature is always going to have it. That's one of the problems with, I think, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sort of had was...
It's too faithful to the show.
Well,
to a fault.
sort of, if this card's good in the show, we have to make it a good card.
Right.
And occasionally that drifts out, but I'm like... Because the deck I actually had was, for once, not based on dragons at all. I did not use dragons. I remember in Duel Masters, it was a blue-green deck, and it was evolving, and it was just, because I loved they had this mechanic where if you had a beast, this card can only be played on top of another beast, evolved into this big thing. And it had a lot of blockers, so I always thought that was a lot of fun. And this, obviously the main guy uses a dragon because dragons are cool. So I always felt like whenever I saw this, starter sets or things like that, it always had that guy's artwork on there, just a different version. It's like the dragon, but this one, now he's holding a hammer. I'm like,
yeah. Well. Oh, well.
Yeah. So, I can understand if you still liking it, because I did think it was different, but I'm glad that I did remember the right card game.
Oh, yeah. No, you're in the clear. And Falcon HK also said he's looking forward to more information on Custom Heroes, that AEG game, so we'll keep our eyes and ears peeled and out. Old friend Rico Cordova. We talked about Seasons last week. He says, I played Seasons at a convention last year. The guy teaching it clearly knew the system, and we clearly didn't. Seasons is the kind of game I actively avoid.
Ooh.
Not because it's not fun, but because I feel like I need to invest too much time and energy in that system in order to appreciate it. So when I'm playing games with dozens of people over the course of a month, it's not going to be a game I can bring out because I would need those people to fully understand the system to get a good game going. Instead, I focus on games that have familiar mechanics that I can teach relatively quickly, even if you're new to it.
I completely, actually probably 75% agree with that. One of the reasons why I love deck building games is I feel once you've taught them one, no matter which one I bring to the table, no matter what new shiny mechanics I have, you probably already know how to do the strategy, which is just a breather, I feel. Sometimes it can be a little boring, but overall, I guess for me, that's not a problem. I just love seeing all the different cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And
go on, yeah.
But Seasons for me, and I can sort of see that, because Seasons had something, and I know this happened to us. Some other games have it, where there's sort of if there's someone new, use this
Seasons
setup.
does have an advanced set of cards, yeah.
While I understand why they do that, it really does stink if every time you bring it out, there's one person who doesn't know said game. and you're just like, oh god, we're gonna use the starting stuff again.
And I think Seasons also, I think even the drafting is optional. I think you can start with either a random, just totally random,
Right.
I think. Because that's, for me, that is the reason Seasons does require more knowledge, is entirely that drafting phase. Like a lot of games, if you don't know what cards and combos are good, you're going to be left behind compared to someone who does. But I think if you eliminate that, most of that is cut down.
Right, but I feel like, I guess for me, the drafting is where the fun is. And
Yeah.
but luckily, I feel drafting still, like deck building, can be one of those things. So I feel like if you want to bring Seasons but don't have the issue, I would suggest maybe looking for games. There's plenty of short games, like I know the Ultra Play game we actually talked about, the Kittens game, is just a simple drafting game. It's a lot shorter. I mean, Magic the Gathering has drafting events. There's plenty of games that use the draft. I mean, Seven Wonders go pick up Seven Wonders.
Sushi Go.
Yeah, these, by understanding how drafting works, even if you don't get the mechanics at first, I think once you understand how you think, like, okay, I need to look for a bomb, I still feel like, though, and maybe it's because I don't do Magic drafting, but I still feel like in a specific game, like Seasons, really knowing the cards, because they're all pretty different. No, it's not nearly as easy as deck building to pick up.
Yeah.
But I mean, understanding how to best draft, and like just start picking up the nuances of picking, like, okay, I see John. Like, let's look at Seven Wonders. Because that literally is all there is to it, pretty much. It'd be like, okay, I see Jonathan's drafting science cards. So in this hand, let's say there's nothing that really helps me, but there's a science card that's going to help him. So I'm going to take that so you don't get it. So starting picking up those little nuances will help. So even if you don't understand, like, maybe at the very least you could all look through the cards a little bit at first and be like, oh, so there's points or this.
Yeah,
or this.
for sure. I mean, of course, that's different even also in Seasons, because you don't see what the other people have. It's all closed drafting.
Well, no, even if you don't, like, if you see something go around and you see, I notice allies are sticking in there or something, I can take advantage of that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's much harder, and that's what Magic is like, and okay.
I feel like even in Seasons specifically, there aren't really, like, blue cards and black cards. They're kind of all over the place.
A little bit, but that's why. But I still feel that, like, if you want to play Seasons, but that's your issue, I definitely think try to pick up some drafting games to try to get people in that sort of mindset.
I just don't know. Like, it seems tough to, like, where do you draw the line where, like, deck building is a great example. You know, games with similar mechanics, but I feel. And we've talked about this on the show also, but I feel like many games have that thing where you need a couple games under your belt before you
Oh, no, there are a lot.
Almost all the ones I really like, to be honest. So it's a tough thing.
Doesn't Dead of Winter have, like, some beginner thing?
I'm not sure.
Because I think that was one of the ones we were like...
I mean, it has, like, shorter scenarios.
Well, yeah, no, and it's definitely an issue. It's a hard thing, and that's why you really want to find a good gaming group. And one of the reasons why is because I feel like our group, even let's say I get a new game and it has that beginner scenario, most of our group is at the point where it can be like, yeah, just put in the advanced stuff.
Right, yeah. If it's really new people, you can't do that.
Right. So I think that's the other thing, like finding that good group so you can sort of skip the tutorial.
So it is tough. You got to find a balance, and you know.
So I completely understand if it's a hard mechanic.
And when there's so many games out there that you got to narrow your time down, yeah. So we appreciate that comment. And finally, this is my favorite one. Corvo Atano said...
Is it just Jonathan is great?
Almost. It says, this was good. You guys deserve more subscribers. And I agree, which is why if you're watching this video, you should like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any thoughts about anything we talked about today or any other board game related questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.